Hello Hillians! Did you start playing Breath of the Wild and you're unsure which glitches still work? Today, we'll learn about 14 glitches that still work this year. I'll first list all the glitches that I'll talk about, then we'll go over them one by one, learning how to do them. And yes, most of these are literal videos that are already on this channel, but now you have them in one place. If you'd like to see the video alone, feel free to check out the links in the description. Also, if you're looking for a specific glitch, you can also check the links in the description for the timestamps. And if you try these glitches and they don't work, you're probably doing something wrong. They all work, I promise. Feel free to ask some questions in the comments. The glitches we'll learn today are Windbombs, which allows Link to fly very far and very fast. Very easy whistle sprinting, which allows Link to run with infinite stamina and also help him climb some cliffs. Getting the Master Sword early with as little as 3 hearts. Duplicating hearts and stamina. Duplicate weapons, bows, and shields. Transfer durability from one item to another. Infinite rupees. Collecting infinite arrows. Collecting infinite ancient parts. Collecting infinite Koroks. Item transmutation, which allows you to change one material to a different one. I don't know the name of this, but you can make one Korok seed become 5 Korok seeds. And you can also make one Spirit Orb become 5 Spirit Orbs. And IST, which allows so much. You can get 999 of any material, even fairies, make special weapons that the game doesn't intend you to have, and so much more. But I'll only teach the basics of this. Windbomb allows Link to fly very far and very fast. There's lots of details I'm not sure about, but I figured I'd tell you the one Windbomb that I know best. The way I do it is to use the ledge Windbomb. You get close to the ledge where Link can jump into bullet time and aim in the direction that you want to go with weapon throw or a bow. Make sure you have a round bomb selected in the Sheikah slate. Hold ZL. Very quickly jump forward, drop the bomb, go into bullet time and hold the rune change. The buttons are up X, L, ZR. Hold D-pad up to pause. You can probably practice this a few times to get the rhythm. So when you're comfortable and you're at this point, switch the Sheikah slate to the square bomb. Let go of D-pad up. Press L to drop the bomb, then hold D-pad up again. Now switch to the round bomb, then blow it up. And that's a wind bomb. Also, putting the camera up before exploding the round bomb will help. If you have some questions, feel free to check the comments or ask yourself. We'll try our best to help. See you next time! Whistle sprinting. You may need to hold the controller in a weird way, but you hold down D-pad down to whistle while continuously pressing B. Link will continue to run without using stamina, and again this also helps Link climb some steep hills. This next glitch allows you to get the Master Sword even with 3 hearts, and it's very easy to do. Now for a very easy glitch to get the Master Sword. You need just wood and fire. Drop wood next to the sword, light it on fire. Stand to where it says sit, but be close enough to the Master Sword that you can pull it. Look up and then sit at the fire. Then you can keep pressing A until Link picks up the Master Sword. If you have a full inventory, you won't be able to pick up the Master Sword. He'll put it back. And for whatever reason, the glitch is harder to do after this. I think discovering the Master Sword for the first time has something to do with it. So if you forgot to make a spot in your inventory, just reload your file, then make an empty spot, and then you can do the glitch. The next glitch allows you to collect as many hearts and stamina as you want. First, go to the cursed statue in Hateno Village. If you don't know how the cursed statue works, basically you give it a heart or a stamina vessel. They become what the statue calls an essence, and the statue will give you 100 rupees. Then if you want the essence back, you have to pay 120 rupees and you can make that essence a heart or a stamina vessel. The purpose for this is if you want to exchange hearts for stamina or stamina for hearts, or if you quickly need 100 rupees. Now give the statue however many hearts you want to duplicate. If you want to duplicate 2, give it 2. If you want to duplicate 7, give it 7. However many you want, you just cannot have less than 3 hearts. You can also trade in stamina vessels to be changed to hearts too. For this video, I'm going to give it 5. Once you give the hearts to the statue, save your game. Next, go to the shrine in Hateno Village and go to the apparatus. You do need the camera rune. If you don't have the camera rune, go to the Hitino Tech Lab up in the mountains to the east and talk to Pora, she'll tell you the rest. Now when you get to the apparatus, you need to have a shield equipped. Hold ZL, then press L and press the left joystick to crouch at the same time. In order to know if you did this correctly, just press the joystick and Link should crouch and stand up. If it doesn't work, Link will instead exit the camera to crouch. Also, you can have Link move while crouched and press X. If the trick is working, the game will have Link jump in that direction you moved and also put the camera in selfie mode. You just have to make sure you're moving when you press X, because pressing X alone will have Link jump and exit the camera. You could also use this anytime you want if you want to get a cool picture. And finally, a good way to get a good shot of the shield. Now go to the apparatus, you'll see an option to examine it. If you don't, you didn't do the first part correctly. Press A and it'll take a picture. Delete the picture and press plus right away. From here, hold one material. Then leave the inventory, go back to the inventory again as soon as you can. If you take too long, Link will take control of the apparatus. When you're back in the inventory, view one memory and nothing should happen. Leave your inventory and you should be able to move Link, but also move the apparatus. Now go load the save file that you made by the statue. Talk to the statue and take all your hearts back. Do the apparatus glitch again, then again reload the file by the statue. When you reload, you'll have all your hearts you took from it, and now you can also take the hearts the statue was holding. However, if this doesn't get you 30 hearts yet, the more efficient way is to give your extra hearts to the statue. Then save your game again and repeat everything from here. In this example, I originally gave the statue 5 hearts, and now I'm going to give it another 5 hearts. I will now save the game, do the apparatus glitch again, and then take those 10 hearts. When I do the apparatus glitch again, go back to the statue. When I reload, I will have the 10 hearts and the statue will be carrying the 10 hearts, or at least what the statue calls an essence. Now I'm going to give it the 10 hearts and save, of course, and now the statue will have 20 essences. I'll save the game and then I'll repeat. When I get to the point when I collect all the hearts until I have 30, I will use the rest of the essences to max out my stamina wheel. The last thing to do is save your game, then completely close the game. And when you reload, you'll have full hearts and full stamina. And the statue may have a few essences left over, but that's okay. This next part will show you how to have duplicate weapons, bows, and shields, but also how to transfer durability between weapons, bows, and shields. Step 1. Get lots of multi-shot bows, and it doesn't matter which kind. You can get duplex bows by the Yuga Clan hideout. Guaranteed to work if you have 7. If you get 5 or 6, it still might work. Step 2. Go to Link's house, save your game, equip one of those bows, a lightning arrow, and the weapon and or shield you want to duplicate.
have Link pull out the bow. Go to your inventory, drop equip bow, equip another multi-shot bow, and leave inventory. Step 4. Repeat step 3 until Link looks funny. Your menu has been overloaded. If you want to duplicate your shield, equip a different shield. You should not see the shield change when switching them. Troubleshooting explained later in the video. Leave your inventory and Link should still be carrying the shield you want to duplicate. Place the shield on the display, then take it back. If you look in your inventory, the shield should be duplicated. If you want to duplicate your weapon, do the same thing. You may throw your weapon instead of placing it on the display. Same with the bow, but if you want to duplicate a bow besides the one you're already equipped, drop and equip another bow. When you're out of your inventory, Link will be bowless. Equip the bow you would like to duplicate. Hold the bow. Go to the inventory, change bow, then place and grab. To transfer durability, equip the weapon or shield durability you want transferred. Overload your menu, then equip the weapon or shield that you want the durability transferred to. Then damage the weapon or shield. For the bow, like the duplication glitch, drop and equip another bow and Link should be bowless. Then equip the bow durability you want transferred. That's how you duplicate and transfer durability. Now a few things you may need to know. If you overloaded your menu, assuming you did it right, but Link is switching equipments, try reloading the game. If that doesn't work, equipping an elemental weapon can give the little push it needs to overload the menu completely. If you already overloaded your menu and you need to switch weapons or shields, instead of starting over, you can put the bow away, then switch, then pull the bow back out. You can do this glitch elsewhere. If you want to, you can throw the weapon or get electrocuted to drop the bow or shield. Make sure you transfer durability to the equipment before duplicating it. You don't want to duplicate a damaged weapon. The most durable weapon is Big Goron's Sword, durability up, which can only be gotten from the Ocarina of Time Link amiibo. If you don't have the amiibo, the next best weapon is a spring-loaded hammer. The most durable bow is the Twilight Bow, durability up, which can only be gotten from the Smash Twilight Zelda amiibo. If you don't have the amiibo, the next best bow is the Ancient Bow. The most durable shield is the Hylian Shield, durability up. If you already have the Hylian Shield, it is too late to get the durability up mod. You can always buy a fresh new Hylian Shield in Tarrytown.
Now let's learn how to collect an infinite amount of rupees.
For this glitch, you'll need one of any Royal Guard weapon. Also, having an Elemental Rod may help. And 5 to 7 multi-shot bows. Sometimes the glitch works with 5, but it will for sure work with 7. If you don't have a Royal Guard weapon, you can get them from Hyrule Castle. The easiest Royal Guard weapon to get is the Royal Guard Shield. This assumes you've already opened the shrine in Hyrule Castle. Teleport to the shrine, climb up the stairs into the library, go right, move the bookcase leading into the king's study. If you haven't opened the shrine, you can probably go do it, or get the spear from the dining hall. To get to the dining hall from Hyrule Castle's entrance, go to the only entrance that's northeast after climbing a few walls. Once you're in, use Magnesis in the fireplace. If you want to get a Royal Guard's bow, since the glitch may be easier to do with it, the fastest way would be to go to the weapons room. Still go to the dining hall, but go through it and you'll be there. If you are playing Master Mode, you can also get some treasure chests above the bridges around Hyrule Castle. For multi-shot bows, you can defeat some Lynels, or go to the shrine by the Yiga hideout. You should fight one foot soldier on the way to the hideout, then drop down the cliff for another. Then 3 of them in front of the hideout. And one more bow laying on the ground inside the entrance of the Yiga clan hideout. If you need a 7th bow, you can either go to the end of the hideout for another duplex bow, or go to the small cave in the Lanayru wetlands. There is the forest dweller bow inside there. And for an elemental rod, you can defeat the Wiz Robe right next to Farron Tower. Now for the Infinite Rupee glitch. There's a woman named Parsi in the Riverside stable. The first time you talk to her, she'll ask to see a Royal Guard weapon. Show her one and she'll give you 300 rupees. After that, she'll trade you a topaz, a ruby, or a sapphire each time you give her a Royal Guard weapon. The way this glitch works is to overload your menu, which I'll explain in a bit, so you never lose your Royal Guard weapon when you give it to her. You can constantly keep giving her Royal Guard weapons, and she will constantly keep giving you infinite amount of rupees, topaz, and sapphires. You can then sell them all. First, save the game. Then make sure you only have one Royal Guard weapon in your inventory. And equip Link with any other weapon that's not the Royal Guard weapon. If you're doing this with a shield, then equip another shield that's not the Royal Guard shield. Now to overload your menu. You need to equip Link with a multi-shot bow and a lightning arrow. Go to the overworld, make sure Link is holding the bow. This is a common detail that people forget to do. Go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then, go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then, go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Do this until Link looks funny or disappears, and now the menu is overloaded. After the menu is overloaded, equip Link with the Royal Guard weapon or shield that you're doing this glitch with. When you leave the inventory, Link should still have the original weapon or shield on his back. Now just talk to Parsi and keep pressing A. And if you have a turbo controller, you can use that too. If you want to do it with the bow, it might be easier. Make sure it's the only Royal Guard weapon in your inventory. Overload the menu. After the menu is overloaded, drop the last multi-shot bow and equip the Royal Guard's bow. When you leave the inventory, Link should be holding nothing. Check your inventory to make sure the menu is still overloaded, then talk to Parsi. Now for some random notes. Even if you max out one of the ores, Parsi will still randomly give you one of the 3 ores. It takes about 4 seconds to get 1 ore. If you have 0 ores, it will take you 3 hours and 20 minutes to get 999 topaz, rupees, and sapphires. Selling them all will get you 649,350 rupees. That's more than enough that's needed for the whole game. If you do this method for 10 minutes, because you don't know what stones you'll get, you should get about 45,000 rupees. If you overload the menu, switch weapons, but Link is holding the Royal Guard weapon or shield in the overworld, don't talk to Parsi. Try overloading again. If this still happens, reload the game and try again. If it still happens, try equipping the elemental rod before overloading the menu. Even if you're doing the glitch with the shield, still equip the elemental rod.
Next is how to collect an infinite amount of arrows.
The absolute best way to get unlimited regular arrows is to get a multi-shot bow, go to the entrance of the Lost Woods, shoot the torch with regular arrows, and collect those arrows. For whatever reason, you can't do this everywhere. But you can do it at other places like the cooking pot at Karakara Bazaar. And if you make a fire by the sign in front of Link's house. Just be careful, don't waste time by accidentally sitting. If you use the torch at the Lost Woods, you can just keep pressing ZR and A as much as you want without worrying about sitting. If you need multi-shot bows, Lynels are probably the best way. Or you can get a Forest Dweller bow in the small cave in the Lanayru wetlands. Duplex bows do work, but they probably aren't worth the time. And if you do this with a 5-shot Lynel bow, you can get more than 100 arrows per minute. Another way to get unlimited arrows, if you're patient, is from the chest on Eventide Island. All chests on Eventide respawn, so you can go to the island that's all the way east and open the chest in the water. Fast travel back to the island and open it again. If you have the travel medallion, it would be much easier and faster.
Next, we'll learn how to collect infinite ancient parts, except giant ancient cores.
Now for the details. Step 1. Flip the dead guardian. There are 4 dead guardians that the glitch works on. 1 in Duval Peak, 1 in Hyrule Castle Town, 1 in the military training camp, and 1 just south of Lanayru Tower. All 4 are on top of water, so you can use Cryonis or heavy metal object to knock it over. Once you flip the dead guardian, a few ancient parts will come out. Whatever parts come out here are the parts that will pour out when the glitch starts. So you can keep loading the game and flipping the guardian until you get the part you want. The glitch works on all guardian parts except giant ancient cores. If you've collected the dead guardian's parts before, the guardian will no longer drop parts the next time you flip it over. However, the glitch will still work. You just won't know what parts you'll get until the glitch starts. The easiest way to flip the guardian and also push it is to use a treasure chest because of its square shape. If you have Amiibo, you can easily drop a chest. If you don't have one, I haven't tested every single item, but here are a few items that work. For shields, it seems only Lynel shields can flip the guardian over. For bows, it worked with Royal bows, Royal Guard bows, Lae'zel bows, and Lynel bows. And for weapons, Giant Boomerang, Rock Crushers, and all Lynel weapons worked. Again, I haven't tested every single weapon, but also after the guardian is flipped, you can use any metal object to push it, but it may be difficult to control. If you found other metal objects that help you with this glitch, feel free to help others and let us know in the comments. Step 2. Push the guardian. Simply put, Hyrule is made up of these squares. Push the guardian 2 squares from its original one, then the glitch will start. Some guardian paths are easier than others. The easiest one seems to be the Hyrule Castle Guardian. It's best to go south. You should take either of these 2 paths, and a good place for the glitch to start is here. I do have a video on this path in real time. You can check the card in the corner or the link in the description. You also have another option to start the glitch here.
You can grab lots of ancient parts, sell them to Beetle, then do the glitch again and repeat this as much as you want. However, there is one better glitch to get rupees, and that's in another video. Link. The next guardian that's somewhat easy is the one in Duval Peak. You can go east or west. Going west will take you into the desert, so you just have to worry about heat resistance. Once you drop the guardian off the mountain, you can just go in a straight line. But if you're playing Master Mode, you may want to kill the Molduking before going in this direction. Going east is fairly easy too. Just know there may be a Wizrobe here in these wetlands and Bokoblins on horses here in these plains. I would kill them before doing the glitch. If you take this path, the glitch will start here. The third guardian is south of Lineru Tower. Your best option is to go straight west. The problem is getting across these two bridges. If it falls, you'll probably have to start over. But once you pass the two bridges, you can just go in a straight line. The last guardian is the hardest one, and it's here in the military training camp. You have to push it through all this mud, and it may take a while. Then I would push it past the island and go straight south. You can also go west, but there are some hills and cliffs you'll have to get over. Step 3. The glitch starts. Now before you allow the glitch to start, there are a few notes you should know. You can use a turbo controller if you don't want to sit there pressing A. If you don't have or don't want to get a turbo controller, there are apps you can download that can connect to a switch to be used as a turbo controller. I just haven't used it before. If you don't want either, you can always continue pressing A yourself, but I suggest watching more YouTube videos while you do so. Link. If you plan to use a turbo controller, before the glitch starts, I suggest sitting until morning and removing metal weapons. This will avoid stall enemies from appearing and lightning from striking you. When the glitch starts, the drops may go so fast Link can't collect anything. What I like to do is move the guardian on a slope and stand on top of it. This seems to work. If you have any other ways, feel free to leave them in the comments. Do not go in your inventory or else the game will crash. Do not stay in your weapon change menu for too long or the game will crash. If an enemy shows up, kill them as soon as possible or the game will crash. I also read somewhere that if a blood moon occurs, it'll crash too, but I haven't seen this for myself. If you would like to go in your inventory to check how many ancient parts you have, save your game, or just stop the glitch, you can flip the guardian right side up. Wait for the glitch to stop, and then open your inventory. The way I flip it is to start by its head and make sure the metal object is aligned with the very top. Quickly push the top straight, then push the metal object down to prevent it from tipping back over. You also have another option to run far away until the guardian despawns, or even go in a shrine. But I find it better to flip the guardian over once you know how to do it. As a reminder, once a guardian's parts have been collected, the guardian will no longer drop parts the next time you flip it over. However, the glitch will still work. You just won't know what parts you'll get until the glitch starts. So if you want to guarantee ancient cores, you only have 4 specific guardian opportunities to do so. Next, we'll learn how to collect infinite amount of Koroks, but one specific Korok needs to be available. Go to the Akala Tech Lab and go to the very top by the lounge chair. If you've already received this Korok seed, then you can't do this glitch. Sorry! Save the game in case you mess up, because you probably will. Hold ZL behind the chair, then move back away from the chair and press A just a few frames away from the chair. Then this should happen. If it does happen, then you can do it again. If this happens, you did it wrong. You probably pressed A too soon. So if that happens, reload the game, then do it again. So this means you probably should save the game after every few Korok seeds you get.
Now you can go to Hestu and open all your inventory slots, and when you get to 900 Korok seeds, Hestu will give you this crap.
Item transmutation allows one item to change into a different item. This way, you can make a common item like wood turn into something rare like a giant ancient core. I'll explain how it works, I'll explain all the problems that I went through when trying to do this, and how to get through them. The glitch can be done anywhere, but if you plan on doing this glitch over and over, like suggested by Limcube, it seems to be a pretty good idea to do it at the Rito stable. You'll see why later in the video. Also, it would be nice to do it at nighttime because we'd like Beetle to be inside the stable. First, you have to empty your inventory from the material that you want to duplicate. In this case, I'm going to use giant ancient cores. I'm going to drop them all on the ground. Then you have to overload your menu. I will now show a clip of one of my old videos explaining how to overload the menu. If you already know how, you can skip to the next part. Check the links in the description for the timestamps. You need to equip Link with a multi-shot bow and a lightning arrow. Go to the overworld, make sure Link is holding the bow. This is a common detail that people forget to do. Go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then, go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then, go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Do this until Link looks funny or disappears, and now the menu is overloaded. For multi-shot bows, you can defeat some Lynels, or go to the shrine by the Yiga hideout. You should fight one foot soldier on the way to the hideout, then drop down the cliff for another. Then, 3 of them in front of the hideout. And 1 more bow laying on the ground inside the entrance of the Yiga clan hideout. If you need a 7th bow, you can either go to the end of the hideout for another duplex bow, or go to the small cave in the Lineru wetlands. There is the forest dweller bow inside there. After the menu is overloaded, go to the material that you want transformed. I'm going to use wood. You need to have at least 6. Hold 5 of them, then you can pick up the bows you used for overloading. You don't need to do this part, but if you look in the inventory, you'll see that Link is holding invisible materials, and that's what you want. Again, you don't have to check if you know you overloaded correctly. Either way, go sell your wood. From here, whatever new item you pick up that isn't in your inventory is what the invisible items will become. So I'll pick up all the giant ancient cores. And when I press X in the inventory, Link will put the invisible items in his pocket and they'll become giant ancient cores. Now I have 5 extra giant ancient cores. Now before you go on your merry way to do this glitch, there are a few things you may need to know. This glitch will work fine if you just want 15 of a material. If you want more than that, you're gonna have a problem. If Link drops 10 items, they will all be on the ground. But when Link drops an 11th item, the first item will disappear. So you can never have more than 10 items dropped unless you do the floating item glitch. Here's another clip from a previous video explaining how to do the glitch. I specifically speak about fairies, but it's done the same way with any material that you use. Again, feel free to skip it if you know how to do it. Turn on your camera rune, then go in your inventory. Have Link carry as many fairies as you need. Then this part is the tricky part. Very quickly leave the inventory, drop the fairies, and go back into the inventory. So you quickly press +A+. Then hold an item and leave the inventory. When you leave the inventory, the glitch should work. So a couple things when doing this part. If you've pressed +A+ and Link is still carrying the fairies in the inventory, then you pressed A too soon or you didn't press A at all. You basically didn't wait long enough after leaving the inventory for Link to drop the fairies. Now if you tried the glitch and the fairies fly away, then you've pressed the second plus after pressing A too late. You have to go right into the inventory very quickly after Link drops the fairies. So you should basically go plus, A plus, as if A plus is almost at the same time, but plus is still second. If you do this correctly, you will see the fairies are basically stuck together, floating in the air. Now collecting these fairies is a little weird. Link will pick them up like he picks up an object. Then you can drop them. The fairies will be loose, so now you can grab them as normal. Now that you know how the glitch works, you basically do this glitch until you have 10 or less of the material in your inventory. Then you can drop the remaining materials on the ground and continue the material transformation glitch. One more thing. When doing the floating item glitch, you may come across two problems. First, the floating items may float up to the ceiling. If this happens, just leave it. Continue the item transformation glitch, and when you want to pick up the floating items, you can use a heavy metal weapon to bounce them around or push them down, and hopefully you get them closer to the ground. If you try a weapon and the items don't move, that weapon wasn't heavy enough. The next problem is that if they don't float up to the ceiling, the floating items will usually be too high for Link to pick up. So what you'll need to do is use a weapon anyway to push them down. Or use something like an amiibo chest to stand on top of. That way you'll be high enough to pick it up. Or you can put them on a lower slope like the steps of the stable. This way, Link can be on the top step and then pick them up. Just make sure they're not too far away outside from the stable, because if they do fly up, they'll fly up forever. And now a few notes that have come up on my multiple tries for this glitch. The reason I did this glitch in the Rito stable is because there's lots of wood outside. When you pick up the floating items, make sure you don't throw them, or they will leave forever. Also, don't drop them while you're moving, or they will be put in some weird state where they will become unpickupable. If you didn't already know, if you drop some critters or fairies, they will fly away. So you'd have to do the floating item glitch if you want to duplicate them. When you try to overload a second time, it sometimes doesn't work. You can try holding an elemental rod, that helps the game overload. If not, just pick everything up and try again. And if not again, save and reload. But the best note of all, when you pick up the floating materials, they will always try to return to the location that they were glitched. So you can use this to launch materials for absolutely no reason. Go try it. It's fun. Except it doesn't work with critters. Don't try to launch them. The next glitch allows you to pick up 5 Korok seeds when you pick up 1. So what we're going to do is transform any material into Korok seeds. The requirements for this glitch is to have a material that you're okay with completely getting rid of. You need to have 0 Korok seeds in your inventory. You need to have a Korok seed available to get. And you need enough multi-shot bows to allow you to overload the menu, which I'll explain later. First thing we need to do is get to a place where you can sell your materials. We're gonna go to the East Akala stable because I can sell things to Beetle, and also there's a Korok seed close by. Now we have to overload the menu. Here's a clip from a previous video of me explaining how to overload your menu. You need to equip Link with a multi-shot bow and a lightning arrow. Go to the overworld, make sure Link is holding the bow. This is a common detail that people forget to do. Go to the inventory,
drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Do this until Link looks funny or disappears, and now the menu is overloaded. For multi-shot bows, you can defeat some Lynels, or go to the shrine by the Yiga hideout. You should fight one foot soldier on the way to the hideout, then drop down the cliff for another. Then 3 of them in front of the hideout. And 1 more bow laying on the ground inside the entrance of the Yiga clan hideout. If you need a 7th bow, you can either go to the end of the hideout for another duplex bow, or go to the small cave in the Lanayru wetlands. There is the forest dweller bow inside there. And if you didn't open this chest yet, there's one forest dweller bow in the chest on Satori Mountain. After the menu is overloaded, go to the material that you don't need anymore because it will be transformed. I'm going to use diamonds just for fun. You can only transform up to 5 materials because that's the most Link can hold. After you hold the amount that you want to transform, you can then pick up the bows after you've overloaded the menu. You don't need to do this part, but if you look in your inventory, you'll see that Link is holding invisible materials. That's what you want. Again, you don't have to check if you know you overloaded correctly, but either way, let's go sell the rest of your diamonds or whatever you're using to Beetle. From here, the next thing you pick up that's not in your inventory will be duplicated. So go get the unfinished Korok and get that seed. When you receive it, press plus to go into your inventory. Then you can press X while in your inventory and Link will put the invisible materials in his pocket and they will become Korok seeds. Before we celebrate what we did, there's 2 things I want to mention. First, even though getting 5 Korok seeds seems like a good idea, it would be better to get the exact amount needed for Hestu to make the Koroks 0. So if Hestu is asking for 4, get only 4 Korok seeds. This way you can have 0 when you trade them in. Then you can do the glitch again. However, after Hestu starts asking for more than 5, then getting 5 and then finding Korok seeds naturally is probably your best option. And the second note, after you do the overloading and sell your materials, you can fast travel and still get the Korok for the glitch to work. Just don't take too long to get the Korok. This next glitch allows you to get 5 Spirit Orbs when you collect one. In this video, we're going to transform wood into Spirit Orbs. First, activate a shrine that you can easily get a Spirit Orb from. You can also complete the shrine or defeat the enemies so you can easily get to the Spirit Orb if necessary. You'll see why later in the video. You'll need to have 0 Spirit Orbs in your inventory, and head to a merchant that you can sell materials to. Next, you have to overload your menu. If you don't know how to overload your menu, here's a previous video of me explaining how to do it. You need to equip Link with a multi-shot bow and a lightning arrow. Go to the overworld, make sure Link is holding the bow. This is a common detail that people forget to do. Go to the inventory, drop equipped bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then go to the inventory, drop equip bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Then go to the inventory, drop equip bow, equip another multi-shot bow, leave inventory. Do this until Link looks funny or disappears, and now the menu is overloaded. For multi-shot bows, you can defeat some Lynels, or go to the shrine by the Yiga hideout. You should fight one foot soldier on the way to the hideout, then drop down the cliff for another. Then 3 of them in front of the hideout. And one more bow laying on the ground inside the entrance of the Yiga clan hideout. If you need a 7th bow, you can either go to the end of the hideout for another duplex bow, or go to the small cave in the Lineru wetlands. There is the forest dweller bow inside there. And if you didn't open this chest yet, there's one forest dweller bow in the chest on Satori Mountain. After the menu is overloaded, go to the material that you don't need anymore because it will be transformed. I'm gonna use wood, and you need to have at least 6. Hold 5 of them, and then you can pick up your bows after overloading. You don't need to do this part, but if you look in your inventory, you'll see that Link is holding invisible materials, and that's what you want. Again, you don't have to do this if you know you overloaded correctly. Either way, go and sell the rest of your wood. From here, the next thing you pick up that's not in your inventory will be duplicated. So we're going to go to that unfinished shrine, then grab the Spirit Orb. When you receive it, press plus to go in your inventory, then press X while in the inventory, and Link will put these invisible materials in his pocket, and they will become Spirit Orbs. Yay, we did it! An IST allows you to get almost anything. You can get a special weapon, 999 of any item, and so much more. Because the glitch is very complicated, I will talk about just the basics of how this works. So to be clear, I'm going to explain and simplify how the glitch works overall. So I'm not going to specifically teach how to duplicate materials or get the Bow of Light or add modifiers to weapons or things like that. But once I was able to understand the things that I'm going to tell you, doing those specific glitch became easier to understand. With that said, the channel I recommend going to is El Duende 05. He is basically the only one really covering this glitch that I know of, and he's doing a good job, so I would say go check it out to make sure you can see how to do those specific things. The first thing I would like to mention, it's said that this glitch can corrupt your file, alright? Just know that yes, it can corrupt your file, but if you close the game completely and you open it again, everything will go back to normal. So after you do the glitch and things mess up, just don't save it. If you mess up, something bad happens, close the game, and everything will be back to normal. Next, I want you to realize you actually have multiple save files, not just one. When you go to your load screen in normal mode, you'll see your manual save, and then you'll see multiple auto saves. And if you're playing master mode, you have one manual save and then you have one auto save. Yes, these are 2 separate files with just multiple saves, but I want you to kind of consider them as separate files just for now. It'll make sense later. So let's keep that in mind, and we're going to leave that off to the side. So to do this glitch, we're going to use one of these saves, and let's put that over here in the middle. Let's call this save A. So on this file, we're going to do a few functions and a little glitch combination, and we're going to create what's called an offset. An offset is basically a number. The game will keep this imaginary number until you completely close the game. This is why you can do this glitch between multiple files in your game, through master mode, through normal mode, and even a new game that you start. After we create this offset, the items in the inventory of file A can then be moved to file, let's call it file B. All you have to actually do is load file B, and that's it. So from here, again, the offset is still on. So if you're on file B and you open another file, file B's stuff will go into that file. Does that make sense? You're with me? If you need to pause, rewind, do it. It's confusing, but I think I'm doing a good job. Thumbs up if so. Thumbs down, don't do it. Alright, so that's a general way of how IST works.
But let me now explain how to specifically choose which items go into from file A to file B. So we're going to think about it like the game will transfer one item at a time from in the inventory, starting from the right of the inventory. So it would transfer the key items first, and then the meals, and then the materials, and so on, depending on what you have. For example, this file from the right of the items are the Ancient Saddle, Traveler's Saddle, Traveler's Bridle, Korok Seeds, Spirit Orbs, and so on. If I create an offset of 3, the first 3 items from the right are the saddles and the bridle. So when I load another file, even if it's a new file, I will have those 3 items. Again, the offset won't turn off until I close the game. So the first 3 items starting from the right, I have the slate and the 2 saddles. So even if I switch to this normal mode file where I'm still on the Great Plateau, it will add just the 2 saddles because the Link can't have more than 1 Sheikah slate. So like I mentioned before, this is the simple way of explaining how the glitch works. So why is it complicated? How do we duplicate materials, get the Bow of Light, and add modifiers to weapons? First of all, it's complicated because of some of the functions you have to do. You have to overload the menu, which by now isn't that difficult. Then you have to create an offset, and the offset can take a while, and you have to keep track, and you have to count and do numbers, and who really wants to do math? And there are consequences for doing it wrong. For example, this file, if you want to transfer all the key items and this meal, just because, I need to create an offset of 8. This is because I have 7 items, and the next 8th item would be this meal. After I create the offset, let's say I want to transfer all these things back to the same file. You can do that. All I have to do is reload this file again. Notice how it transferred the Korok Seeds and the Spirit Orbs. Now I have 2 stacks of them, and you cannot get rid of these unless you use them. Or you can use them before doing the glitch so they don't get transferred. The good news, the items that can't be stacked, like the slate, the paraglider, saddles, they will get transferred, but they will just replace the ones you have. So you won't get duplicates of those. And the other kind of good news is that there is a way to prevent duplicating the Spirit Orbs and Koroks, but those take some extra steps. So if you want to transfer materials, all you have to do is create a large enough offset to transfer all the key items, possibly the meals, and whichever materials you want duplicated, starting from the right of the inventory, of course. The other option is to delete or use all the meals so you don't have to transfer the meals, and you can also create a smaller offset. Example, if I want to transfer these giant ancient cores, I have to get rid of all my meals and then create an offset of at least 26. So that way I can take all my key items, because there are 25 key items, 5 on the right page, and 20 on the first page key items, and then the giant ancient cores are the 26th item. From here, I'll create the offset of 26, then I would reload this file again, and then I would duplicate the giant ancient cores. I can now create an autosave so I don't mess up my main save. Then I can transfer the giant ancient cores again to that autosave. And now I have more giant ancient cores. I can do this a lot until I get the amount I want, then I could finally add it to my main save if I wanted to. However, because I have Korok Seeds, it may become a mess, but then again, like I said, that's for another video. Okay, now the way to duplicate weapons, bows, and shields, like the Bow of Light or the Master Sword, you basically create an offset large enough Again, that takes time and it involves math, but large enough to cover all the key items. You don't have to cover the meals and the materials because you can just delete those. And then the equipment, you can also delete that and then create enough offset to cover the key items all the way up to the shields and or bows and or weapons. However, the problem for this one is that there are equipment that you cannot sell. So those equipment will get duplicated and you'll be stuck with them, and they'll take up slots on the inventory. Again, there are ways to do this, but like I said, I'm so sorry I'm making you do this, but you should watch another video, but I just want to explain how it works. And finally, the coolest part of this glitch is adding modifiers to weapons. Explaining this is kind of weird. You have to create 60 meals, and the last meal's effects will transfer onto the weapon, bow, or shield, which will then translate into attack up, guard up, shield surf up, or durability up, 10 shot into one of those things, which is kind of like weird to say. But also, again, you have to create enough offset, which again takes a while for the key items and the meals, and then up to the shields and bows or whatever you want to do. Besides these 14 glitches, there's also very silly glitchy areas in Breath of the Wild like the one you're watching now. If you want to learn about these secret locations, check out this video. This was a long video, but I hope it really helped. If you need help in Zelda games, I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next time!